Tamar's story is a tale of sorrow, courage, and redemption. This is a story about the unexpected ways in which fate and faith intertwine and how one woman's tenacity altered the course of a family's destiny. Tamar entered Judah's household as a vibrant young woman, her eyes sparkling with hope. Marrying his eldest son, promised a future woven with love and family. But joy curdled into despair soon after Tamar entered Judah's family as the wife of The union was meant to ensure the continuity of Judah's lineage, a critical concern in a culture where family and heritage were paramount. Judah, a man of considerable influence, had high hopes for his three sons, Onan and Shelah, the youngest. But his expectations quickly turned to ashes. Despite his noble birthright, died and left Tamar to be a widow and her future uncertain. Judah, burdened by grief and a twisted sense of responsibility, offers a fragile lifeline to Tamar. He promised her Onan, his second son, an ancient custom where a brother took his deceased sibling's wife to bear him an heir. Onan, however, was a selfish man. Knowing that any child born would not be considered his, he deliberately prevented Tamar from conceiving. This act of defiance was both a breach of duty and an affront to God, who struck him down as well. As we delve deeper into this story, kindly comment, and invite your friends by sharing this video. Tamar became single again, widowed and childless. In a society where a woman's worth was often tied to her ability to produce heirs, her situation was dire. Judah, fearing for the life of his remaining son, Shelah, promised Tamar that she could marry Shelah once he came of age. But as the years went by, it became evident that Judah had no intention of fulfilling his promise. Tamar remained in her father's house, watching her hopes fade as Shelah grew up without being given to her as a husband. Her desperation grew as she lived in her father's house, awaiting Judah's youngest son, Shelah, to come of age. Yet as time passed, it became clear that Judah had no intention of allowing Shelah to marry her. Tamar's sense of betrayal deepened, knowing that her rightful place in the family was being denied. There was a heavy feeling of loss and uncertainty when Tamar went back to her father's house. The mansion, which had previously brought happiness and security, now appeared to be a prison of unmet expectations. Once a happy bride, Tamar was now widowed twice, her position indicated by the thick, somber mourning robes that she wears. She lived a life of boring rituals and was burdened by the demands of society. Children were seen as blessings from God, ensuring the continuation of a family's name and legacy. For a woman to be childless, especially after multiple marriages, was viewed as a sign of misfortune or divine disfavor. Tamar, now both widowed and childless, faced a future of social marginalization and economic vulnerability. Back in her father's house, Tamar's life was a stark contrast to the life she had hoped to lead. The days passed slowly, each one a reminder of her isolation and the broken promise that kept her in limbo. She would rise early to help with household chores, her hands busy with weaving, cooking, and cleaning, but her mind often wandered to thoughts of what could have been. The laughter of other children playing in the courtyard was a bitter reminder of the children she never had. Tamar watched as other women in the village married, bore children, and secured their places within their families and communities. Her own future seemed bleak and uncertain, bound by the constraints of a promise that Judah had no intention of keeping. Judah, having lost his first two sons, and Onan, was gripped by fear for the life of his remaining son, Shelah. He had promised Tamar that she could marry Shelah when he came of age. But as the years went by, it became evident that this was an empty promise. Judah's fear clouded his judgment, and he failed to see the injustice of keeping Tamar waiting indefinitely. Tamar's emotional state was a tumultuous blend of frustration, grief, and determination. She was a woman of strong character, but the years of waiting tested her resolve. Each day spent in her father's house was a day further away from her dreams of motherhood and family. She lived in a society that offered her little solace or support, where a woman's worth was inextricably linked to her ability to bear children. Socially, Tamar was in a precarious position. As a widow without children, she had no secure place within the family or community. Her interactions with others were often tinged with pity or avoidance, reinforcing her sense of isolation. Yet amidst this, Tamar held onto a quiet but fierce determination to reclaim her rightful place and secure her future. As she watched the seasons change, each year that went by without a child increased her anxiety and frustration. The weight of societal expectations and the personal grief of being unable to fulfill her role as a wife and mother pressed heavily upon her. She knew she needed to take matters into her own hands if she was to secure her future and honor her late husband. Tamar's father, aware of her plight but powerless against the decisions of Judah, could not even support his daughter. He mocked her every opportunity he got, as it was clear that Tamar's future depended on Judah's family. There came a time when Tamar was in the market, and she stumbled upon Shelah, who didn't notice her. Even if he had, he could not recognize her or know who she was. Shelah had come of age and grown into manhood. This brought about a painful reminder of the unfulfilled promise for Tamar. This made her resolve to find justice for herself grow stronger with each passing day. Tamar began to devise a plan. She understood the customs and laws of her people, and she knew that she had a right to an heir through Judah's family. Her cunning and intelligence led her to form a bold and risky plan, one that would require all her courage and resourcefulness. Even with the resolve she showed, she realized that if she did not act, her future would be lost. Her patience was running thin, and her resolve hardened. She was a woman on the brink, ready to take steps and damn the consequences to secure her destiny. The waiting had pushed her to the edge. She had waited in obedience, hoped in silence, and watched in despair. Now she felt the stirrings of a plan, one that would demand all her courage and craftiness. Tamar knew she had to find a way to ensure her place in Judah's lineage and fulfill her duty, even if it meant risking everything. She came up with a plan. Tamar's journey from a state of helplessness to a place of vindication is a powerful narrative of faith, courage, and justice. Judah, unaware of Tamar's plans, prepared for the sheep shearing festival in Timnah, a time of celebration. This festival, which would be vibrant with activity and ripe with opportunity, became the stage for Tamar's audacious plan. The sheep shearing festival was a bustling event, usually filled with laughter, music, and the aroma of feasts. Shepherds and traders from surrounding areas gathered to shear their flocks and celebrate the bountiful season. Judah, who now was a widower, having lost his wife, found solace in these festivities, where business and pleasure intertwined. Tamar, on her part, dressed in the form of a prostitute, revealed a side of herself driven by desperation. The tension peaked as Tamar, veiled and unrecognizable, confronted Judah on the way to Timnah. The emotional stakes were immense. Tamar risked everything, her reputation, her safety, her future, on this encounter. Judah, ignorant of the true identity of the woman before him, went in and slept with her. Their exchange, filled with unspoken truths, led to Tamar securing Judah's seal, cord, and staff as payment. These items held immense personal value and would later serve as undeniable proof of her actions. Disguising herself as a veiled prostitute, she positioned herself by the roadside on Judah's usual path. When he approached, his lustful gaze pierced her veil. He propositioned her, unaware of the woman beneath the facade. Tamar, her voice husky with a practiced sensuality, negotiated a fee, his signet ring, cord, and staff. He readily agreed, eager to seal the transaction with the symbols of his authority, pawned for a fleeting moment of pleasure. Judah, who was drawn by her allure and unaware of her identity, she made him pledge, a guarantee of payment. Judah gave her all she requested as a guarantee, promising to send a young goat as payment. Tamar's heart pounded as she took these items, knowing they were the keys to her future. That night, as Judah lay with her, her mind raced with the implications of her actions. She knew the risk she was taking, but her determination to secure her future and fulfill her duty drove her desperation. As dawn broke, she slipped away, her heart heavy with the weight of her secret and the hope of a new beginning. A few months later, Tamar became pregnant by the act carried out with her father-in-law. The act, shrouded in secrecy beneath the cloak of night, left her pregnant. Her plan had worked as she gently caressed her small belly, which was just showing signs of protruding. She was happy about this and, at the same time, afraid because it might cost her life. It was abominable, and she was unaware of what had happened to her. a pregnant widow, years after she had lost both her husband. This experience can be described as bittersweet for her. As news of her becoming visibly pregnant got to her father, he accused her of harlotry, a grave sin that would bring shame upon his household. Her father was ready to drag her out to stone her to death. But before he did that, he sent her brothers to Judah. The serene routines of life in Judah's household were shattered by scandal. The news of Tamar's pregnancy spread like wildfire, igniting judgment and outrage. The community, quick to condemn, called for severe punishment. The streets of the village buzzed with whispers, gossips, and accusations as Tamar's growing belly became undeniable. The news reached Judah, who, still unaware of his role in the unfolding drama, was quick to pass judgment. In a culture where honor and reputation were paramount, Tamar's pregnancy outside of marriage was seen as a grievous sin. Judah, embodying patriarchal authority with harsh judgment, ordered Tamar to be burned. His hypocrisy was stark. The man who had sought solace in a presumed prostitute was now ready to condemn a woman for the same presumed sin. As Tamar stood before the assembly, the weight of their scorn bore down on her. She knew that her fate rested in the revelation she was about to make. She, however, wouldn't go into details about how she got pregnant because she didn't want to disgrace her father-in-law. The tension was handled as she sent a message to Judah, presenting the seal, cord, and staff with the words, "I am pregnant by the man who owns these." Tamar's revelation was a dramatic turning point. As she presented Judah's seal, cord, and staff, the evidence of his actions was undeniable. Judah's recognition of his items forced profound self-reflection. His face was drained of color. Shame washed over him, a bitter tide. He had condemned a woman for the very act he himself had committed. He recognized the signet, the cord, and the staff, undeniable proof of his transgression. Silently, he acknowledged his sin and Tamar's cleverness. She wasn't a harlot. She was a woman wronged, a woman who had fought for her rightful place. He immediately declared that she was more righteous than he was. He made a public acknowledgement of his failure to uphold justice and his promise. Tamar's vindication was not just personal, it was a moral victory, highlighting themes of justice, righteousness, and the complexity of human character. The assembly watched in stunned silence as Judah acknowledged his failure. His voice, trembling with a mix of shame and admiration, proclaimed Tamar's righteousness. The crowd, witnessing this unexpected turn, murmured among themselves, the earlier condemnation giving way to a reluctant respect. Tamar's heart soared with a mix of relief and triumph. Her bold plan had not only saved her life, but also secured her place in Judah's lineage. She had reclaimed her honor and ensured the continuation of Judah's line, proving that faith and determination could overcome even the greatest of obstacles. Tamar, the courageous woman whose actions had restored her rightful place in Judah's family, lay in the throes of labor. The time had come for her to put to bed. Her strength and resolve, tested through the years of waiting and planning, now manifested in her determination to bring her children into the world. She knew that this moment was not just the birth of her sons, but the birth of a new chapter for her and her family. The birth of the twins was not only a physical event, but a symbolic one. Perez's determination to be born first, despite the initial position of Zerah, mirrored Tamar's own journey of fighting against the odds to secure her future and the future of her family. Outside the birthing chamber, Judah, hearing the news of the twins' safe arrival, fell to his knees in gratitude. His heart swelled with a mix of emotions, relief, joy, and a renewed sense of responsibility. The birth of Perez and Zerah was a divine sign that the line of Judah would continue, and with it, the legacy of their family. The household, once shadowed by loss and uncertainty, now basked in the light of new beginnings. Tamar's journey, marked by courage and faith, had brought them to this moment. Her actions had not only restored her own future, but had also ensured the continuation of a lineage that would lead to the birth of King David and, ultimately, Jesus Christ. The birth of Perez and Zerah underscores the importance of perseverance in the face of adversity. Tamar's determination to secure her rightful place and fulfill her duty, despite numerous obstacles, serves as a powerful reminder that faith and tenacity can overcome even the greatest challenges. The lessons embedded within this narrative can be seen in different ways. It speaks of the unwavering importance of family lineage in ancient societies and the desperation that can drive even the most righteous to the fringes of morality. But most importantly, it highlights the strength of the human spirit, particularly that of women. In a world stacked against her, Tamar refused to be a victim. She outsmarted a powerful man, securing her future and ensuring her place in the bloodline that would one day lead to the Messiah. Tamar's legacy, marked by courage, faith, and the pursuit of justice, echoed through the generations. It served as a beacon of hope and an inspiration to all who heard it. Her story was a testament to the truth that even in the face of immense trials and societal constraints, one's faith and determination could change the course of history. Be proactive in your faith. Tamar's bold actions remind us that sometimes we need to take initiative in our spiritual lives. This could mean starting a new ministry, volunteering for a cause close to your heart, or simply stepping out in faith to share God's love with others. Reflect on areas needing courage. Take time to pray and reflect on areas in your life where you need to exhibit more courage. Ask God to strengthen your resolve and guide you in taking the necessary steps forward. Trust in God's divine plan and hold fast to God's promises. Tamar's story illustrates the importance of trusting in God's promises, even when circumstances seem bleak. Study the promises of God in the Bible and hold them close to your heart, knowing that His plans are always for your good. Patience in waiting. Like Tamar, who waited patiently for justice, learn to be patient and trust in God's timing. During times of waiting, engage in prayer, seek God's wisdom, and remain faithful to His commands. Faith in action. Tamar's faith was active. She didn't just wait passively, but took steps she believed were in alignment with God's justice. Reflect on how you can actively live out your faith in your daily actions, showing God's love through your deeds. Stand for righteousness. Judah's eventual acknowledgement of Tamar's righteousness calls us to pursue justice and integrity. Strive to act righteously in all aspects of your life, making decisions that reflect God's principles. Seek and offer redemption. Judah's transformation shows the power of repentance and redemption. If there are areas in your life where you have strayed from God's path, seek His forgiveness and make amends. Similarly, extend grace and forgiveness to those who seek it from you. Act justly in small and big ways. From everyday interactions to significant decisions, aim to act justly. This might involve fair treatment in your workplace, honesty in your relationships, or advocacy on societal issues. Strengthen your faith community. Support each other in faith. Tamar's story highlights the importance of community and support. Engage actively in your faith community, offering support, encouragement, and accountability to one another. Mentorship and guidance. Be willing to mentor others in their faith journey. Share your experiences, offer guidance, and help others navigate their own paths of righteousness and faith. Pray for one another. Regularly pray for the members of your community, lifting up their struggles and needs to God. Prayer strengthens the bonds of community and aligns our hearts with God's will. If you agree with all that has been said so far, leave a comment in the comment section. Heavenly Father, grant us the strength and endurance to persevere through the trials in our life, just as Tamar did. Help us to trust in your divine plan and timing, knowing that you can bring about your purposes through any circumstance. God of mercy leads you to recognize our failings and seek redemption, restoring our faith and renewing my spirit. Bless us with wisdom and discernment to make righteous decisions, even when the path is unclear. God of justice, help us to act with integrity and uphold justice in all our dealings, acknowledging and rectifying our wrongs. Father, teach us to be patient and to trust in your perfect timing, knowing that your plans for us are good. Lord, help us to be a source of support and encouragement within our faith community, strengthening others as we walk together in faith. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more. Your feedback is valuable, so feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to hit the like button and share this video with others who might find it